Okay, so this one we're going to solve by completing the square. So say I've got x squared plus 8x plus 7 equals negative 8. First thing I want you just to move the constant term over to the right. So I subtract 7 from both sides. So I have x squared plus 8x, and then leave yourself a little bit of room, okay, equals negative 15. Now, why did I leave some room? All right, here's what I want. I want you to write out a blank here. So I want a number here, but I got to put a special number. But if I put a plus that special number on the left side, I've got to put that same amount plus that special number on the right side. Okay, so this is my blankety blank that's going to help me out. So how do I get this special green number? Well, what I do is I take the middle term, so the b term, and I half it. Okay, so what's half of 8? That's 4. And then I take that 4 and I square it, and that gives me 16. So this is my number that I add, and if I add it on this side, I've got to add it on this side here. Okay? Now what's special about this number? Whenever I do this, x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals, and then that equals just 1. What's going on? Well, this factors something that adds to 8 and multiplies to 16. That's 4 times 4, and that adds to 8. Okay, so that works out. This is going to factor to x plus 4 times x plus 4, which is x plus 4 squared. Now we can use the square root method that we were doing in an earlier video. Okay, so what's special about this? Whenever I half it, that term right there is a positive 4. That's why I have this plus 4 inside my parentheses here. So that kind of tells me what's going in there. This tells me what to add. So this tells me what goes in my parentheses. This tells me what to add to both sides. So how do I handle this? I take the square root of both sides. I take the square root of this side and the square root of this side. Square root of this is just x plus 4. Square root of 1, remember it's 2 answers, plus or minus 1. So what's going on? This is x equals minus 4. So I'm minus 4 on both sides to get x by itself. Minus 4 plus 1, which is negative 3. Or x is equal to minus 4 minus 1, which is negative 5. So x equals negative 3 or x equals negative 5 are my solutions. Okay, let's try one more. So let's try one where the leading term is not 1. So maybe the leading term is 2x squared plus 7x minus 15 equals 0. Okay, if I'm going to do this one, here's what I got to do. First thing, I got to get rid of this leading term of 2. I need to make it 1. Okay, so that's my first step. So I'm going to divide everything on the left by 2, and I divide everything on the right by 2. So this becomes x squared plus 7 over 2x minus 15 over 2 equals, well, 0 divided by 2 is still 0. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to move the constant term over. And so I have x squared plus 7 over 2x. And I'm going to leave a little space, and I'm going to have 15 over 2. And so what do? I put my little blank here, and I've got to add the same amount over here. Well, how do I get this number? I take the middle term, 7 over 2, and I cut it in half. So half of 7 over 2 is 7 over 4, and then I square 7 over 4. So 7 over 4 is 49 over 16. So 49 over 16 added here, 49 over 16 added there. Okay, looks like a bunch of stuff, but this left side here, so all of that left side simplifies to x and then something squared. How do I know what that something is? It's staring me right in the face. It's half of the middle term, so it's a positive 7 over 4. And then this is equal to what? Well, I gotta do adding over here. If I add these two over here, let's see. Ooh, we might we might have a little bit of math going on. So 15 over 2, and then I have 49 over 16, so I need to multiply top and bottom by 8. That would be 8120 over 16, maybe? And then 49 over 16, so what is that, 169 over 16? That seems close enough. Okay, now I square root both sides. Square root both sides. Yeah, that's going to be right. X plus 7 over 4 equals, well, what's the square root of 169? That's 13. What's the square root of 16? That's 4. But I have that plus or minus in there. All right, this is working out nice. So I subtract 7 over 4 from both sides. Okay, so x is equal to 13 over 4 minus 7 over 4, which is what? Ooh, that's 6 over 4, which is 3/2. And then I have x equal to negative 13 over 4 minus 7 over 4, which is negative 20 over 4, which I think is negative 5. So my answer, x equals negative 5 or x equals 3/2. Okay.